Kazakhstan is one of the most multicultural countries in the world, consisting of representatives of more than 130 ethnic groups and nationalities. Each ethnicity has unique traditions, fantastic holidays, and fascinating history, as well as amazing recipes. Recipes for kindness and peace, and respect for our ancestors and other people's culture. This is Recipe for Friendship.
Today, the recipe for friendship is going to meet French diaspora. Hello, my name is Aleftina Madjarova. French people are the representatives of one of the oldest and most unique nations on the European continent with a long and rich history. Today we will know from the first hands what they like most in Kazakhstan.
Nous avons une communauté très vivante au Kazakhstan, mais elle est petite.
We will find out what holidays are the most important for the French people. Probably the best reflection of the culture is July the 14th. It is a holiday in France. And of course we will get acquainted with the rich French cuisine. This is œuf poché in wine sauce. Poché means eggs that boiled in hot water. Poached eggs? Yes, poached. It's also called Benedict eggs. The first French group which chose Kazakhstan as their permanent place of residence appeared in Kazakhstan right after the country became independent. And when François Mitterrand was establishing French embassy in Almaty, there were very few of French people. French, they're curious. They were among the first travelers who visited Central Asia, and still the Orient is a riddle. Wrapped in a mystery, inside an enigma, and it is significant for the French. The French are keen on traveling, inventions, new cultures, etc. So the presence of French people in Kazakhstan is quite natural. Now our country is home to more than 1,000 representatives of French people. However, small number doesn't stop them from holding wonderful festivals and holidays. What is the basis of French culture? The ability to create a holiday under any circumstances and literally out of nothing. Well, the main holiday in the French calendar is Bastille Day, and I promise you it will not pass in vain. In France, the official program of the celebration includes a series of balls. The Fireman's Ball, Great Ball, which take place on July the 13th in the Garden of the Tuileries. A solemn military parade on the Champs-Élysées is held on the day of Bastille. The parade starts at 10 a.m. at Place de l'Étoile and moves toward the Louvre. Special seats for spectators are set at Place de Concorde, opposite to the Arc de Triomphe. The finale of the holiday is a big firework at the Eiffel Tower on the Champ de Mars. Of course, French people who is abroad have to celebrate this holiday in more modest way, but this does not diminish the significance of the event. His Excellency Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of France to Kazakhstan, Monsieur Francis Etienne, noted repeatedly the closeness of our people, which doesn't seem obvious at first glance. After all, our traditions and history are different, becomes clear on close scrutiny. We easily find a common language, celebrate common holidays, and enjoy talking. Also during the celebration on June the 14th in Astana, which brought together almost all Kazakhstani French people, we met a designer from France who is known around the world as the Lamine M. Lamine is the author of the collection Grand Royal Gowns. His extraordinary work has caused great interest in our country, but stylist himself showed equal interest in our culture. During his visit to Kazakhstan, he had the opportunity to learn some of Kazakh traditions and symbols. Especially his attention was stolen by Kazakh ornaments. Moreover, he found similarity between our koshka muez and French fleur-de-lis. It is worth noting that today Lamine already can be considered a frequent guest in our country, working together with the Kazakhstan designers, and who knows, maybe like many other people, he will find love of his life here. By the way, most of the major holidays in France are identical to ours. New Year's, which though inferior in scale to Christmas, International Women's Day, Workers' Day, they are celebrated on the same days as in the former Soviet Union. But the Victory Day in France is celebrated on May the 8th, not on May the 9th, because due to different time zones, signing the act of surrender has happened earlier according to Paris time. A special place in heart of every Frenchman takes June the 21st, Music Day or Fête de la Musique. Numerous parades and concerts are held across the country, during which people can hear music of all genres, both by professional teams and amateurs. We also have such festivals. Today I invite you to celebrate the Festival of French Poetry, together with lovers of French culture and, of course, with Almaty French Alliance. In the number of holidays that are celebrated not only in France but around the world, Reading Day may be not as important as, for example, the Bastille Day, but it is very important for fans of French culture. Reading Day is a traditional festival which is celebrated all over the Francophone world. In musical and poetic genre, we choose Charles Baudelaire. Why is Charles Baudelaire? Because he is absolutely extraordinary poet. He has his style, his perception and his vision. Gulbaram Siddiqova has been teaching French for more than a dozen years, and the French Alliance, which without any doubt can be considered the main center of culture of France in Kazakhstan, clearly allows to understand how high is the interest for this culture. Festivals, competitions and events are held here regularly. During the Reading Day, everyone could participate in impromptu performances, read and listen to poems and songs, share experiences and knowledge with other Francophones. I think such celebrations are very necessary. They can bring people together and they can open the world of French culture to anyone. Now we're going to perform a small piece on Jean-Marie Gustave Leclésio's Chercheur d'Or, which is translated as The Prospector. Students and parents, as well as those who hasn't started to learn French yet but dreaming about it, and spectators of all ages, got the opportunity to join the poetry of Baudelaire, plays of Molière and tales of Charles Perrault. If the foundation of French culture can be defined as hedonism and gastronomy, the basis of French gastronomy in turn are the three pillars: bread, cheese and wine. Without them, any feast is impossible. Forget about feasts, the fridge is empty without cheese. There are over 750 types of cheese in France and each is unique in its kind. Hard and soft, aged and young, moldy or covered with a crust from the milk of cows, goats and sheep. What is the secret of such a big diversity? Everything is simple. Every region and almost every village brewed their own cheese. And to get acquainted with this palette of varieties and tastes, we go to the Festival of French Gastronomy. Today I invite you to the Fête de la Gastronomie Française. This is an annual celebration of French culture and cuisine. Today there will be a festival, fair, music, fellowship and of course the delicacies from France. The fair located on Cocteau Mount became a wonderful family holiday, where music was playing, where there were competitions and masterclasses and zones of entertainment for children and adults, so that everybody could find something to their liking. And of course, in addition to French wonders, there were some autumn gifts offered by Kazakhstani farmers. As for the goodies from far away, anyone could learn more about them talking with chefs of the highest guild who came specially for the occasion.
Voilà, donc nous sommes venus de Normandie.
We came from France, from Normandy, to present you the specialties that are typical for Normandy. First and foremost, it's cheese. Each of our cheeses is made according to one of the modes of aging. One of the highlights of the holiday, besides masterclasses conducted by high-class chefs, was the dedication of a student of the school named after Auguste Escoffier to the chefs of a guild of Auguste Escoffier. The school of the followers of Auguste Escoffier was created in 1954 in Nice and has today about 25,000 followers worldwide. Escoffier wrote in his book that cooking will evolve just as society evolves without ceasing to be an art. The cuisine of regions of France differs according to food that is native for those regions. If you take Normandy, they cook with butter and cream, and if you go to the south of France, then there is a lot of olive oil and tomatoes. Different products, different regions. So French cuisine is diverse, it depends on the products. It would be strange to leave the celebration of French gastronomy without a trophy. And since cheese making is a significant part of the culture for the French, so I'll leave with this cheese. I'm surprised by not only the variety of types of cheeses, but also by a huge number of shapes. Circle, disc, drum, rectangle, square, standing cylinder, a knot, cone, heart and triangle. Besides, each variety of cheese in France has its own individual history, fate and even the nature. It is not the first time when Xavier Touré brings his unique cheeses to Kazakhstan. And he is pleased to notice that we have enough of connoisseurs and gourmets. He can talk endlessly about the food and especially about cheese. Even on his chef's jacket, traditional French motto, liberty, equality, fraternity, that sounds like liberté, égalité, fraternité, became liberté, égalité, camembert. And of course, we couldn't help wondering how our native dishes taste for French people. The French are used to the diversity of food. They are ready to have all new. For example, bêche barmac is not a usual dish for us. But we can adapt and we like it. And we like the communication, chatting at the table, table talks. France is one of the front runners in production of wine. French people cannot imagine a complete meal without wine. The most popular is dry wine, which is also used for sauces, marinades and baking. This delicious and aromatic festival could not exist without music. Humorous songs performed by this colorful trio relocate guests into the unique atmosphere of the Parisian streets. I have been working on different gastronomic festivals for many years, including those ones which are connected to French gastronomy, which is one of the greatest culinary cultures. And I was able to find out that the French never lose their optimism, their free spirit, liberty, equality, fraternity. They're amazing people who in any situation can find a holiday and will not allow themselves to break. It is awesome. The French consider cooking as art and famous chefs are some kinds of poets. They believe that recipes are the only basis for cooking, using which every woman can bring something of her own and thereby to make her meals special and different from dishes of the same name served in restaurants or in other families. Today, under the guidance of a talented cook, we will learn how to cook a special dish. Well, as always, the most enjoyable, the most delicious time of any program is the development of gastronomy. In this case, we are talking about French gastronomy, and when we talk about French culture, then it's probably one of the pillars, right? By the way, meet our friend Xavier, who will teach me to cook today œuf en mirette. Œuf en mirette? Yes, œuf means eggs, and mirette is the name of the sauce. This is œuf poché in wine sauce. Poché is when eggs are boiled in hot water. Poached eggs. Yes, poached eggs. It's also called eggs Benedict. Xavier is a historian and he arrived in Kazakhstan in the purpose of the research. Therefore, he had plenty of time to explore our culture while he has been living in Kazakhstan. Throw in the fact that Xavier is married to beautiful Saulé. As always, while we try to diversify our knowledge in cooking, at the same time we can diversify the knowledge in the languages. Well, you can start with onions. Can I help? You can, of course. Okay, chop finely. Yes, finely. What are the most popular ingredients in French cuisine? Well, certainly onion, basil, also garlic and smoked bacon is quite popular too. Endlessly praising the variety and poetry of French cooking, we cannot forget its diversity. After all, the French word cuisine française is too vague of a concept. There are different specialties. For example, olive oil is often used in the southern regions and butter in the north. Well, all Kazakhs are very fond of the moment that the French, like the Kazakhs, also eat horse meat. Well, yes, but we've had it a long time ago, in the 19th century. And it is not like here, we considered it a cheap meat. But still, our horse meat is not as tasty as here. What a graceful compliment to the Kazakh products. Actually, what do you like most among local food? Well, meat, of course. And many of dairy products too, such as milk, yogurt. However, local cheese is worse than ours. Ours is very different, really. Well, for us it is, so I think that I'm not fond of local cheeses. It's not very good for my taste. I think in France you can eat only cheese, choose different kinds every day and not repeat for a month. Lots of culinary concepts that we are accustomed to and consider our own came to us from France. Even if we talk about mayonnaise, this is also a French invention. However, Olivier salad and Napoleon cake are purely Russian dishes. I think French gastronomy is based on sauces and the principles of cooking meat and other things. Well, it strongly depends on the region. Meanwhile, the sauce Murat is still being prepared. And then different spices that we add to the sauce: cumin, rosemary, bay leaf, basil, oregano, black pepper and nutmeg. And what region are you from? Well, I was born in the south of France, in Aix-en-Provence. Well, that sounds like poetry. Well, that's why I often cook with olive oil. But my parents, they are not from there. They are from Lorraine and from Brittany. It is quite different. Well, yes. Well, it's hard to say. We believe that Lyon is one of them, is one of the capitals of French cuisine. By the way, to which of the French regions belongs our today's dish? Judging by its satiety, abundance of red wine, it should be something Burgundian. All of my life, when I was a kid, we lived in the south of France. And on vacation we used to travel to the east through Burgundy. And my dad used to buy wine. And basically I grew up on Burgundy wine and Burgundy cuisine. Is our today's dish part of Burgundy cuisine? Well, yes, that's red wine. It is Burgundian dish. It is one of many people in Burgundy cook with wine. It wasn't difficult to master the terminology associated with cooking in the French language. I speak French a little bit, but almost all the words I know belong to culinary. All these couper, verser, ajouter, mélanger. Learning the basis of cooking was also quite easy. I think that if you love onions and garlic like I do, French cuisine will soon become familiar and clear to you. What is the most important in sauce preparation? It is thickening, when ingredients, such as wine or broth, slowly thickens and gives taste to the sauce. Well, the process was not so simple. You just need a little bit of skill, some experience. Finally, the poached eggs are ready. Now, the most fancy part. Our poached eggs are ready. Sauce is also ready and it looks very nice. Bread, you fried it on the pan. Now what else do we need? Yes, now take a bit of garlic. Bread is toasted, eggs are here and waiting for serving. And serving is not complicated. Each poached egg is laid on a piece of bread, put some sauce on top and serve. Flavor is absolutely magical. The process in which it was possible to take part today, of course something beyond the reality. It seems to be a simple dish, but some kind of magic is still here. The only thing is left to say, bon appétit! Bon appétit! French music, French food, French wine, French cheese, and of course, the magical ability to enjoy life, whatever it is. All this allows French people to enjoy life in any country wherever they live and to take their small France in their hearts. It was Recipe for Friendship. My name is Aleftina Madyarova. See you.